Well, that's a great way to start everything. Well, got the 2022 season review, I guess, really year in review for all the racing that there was, because pretty much everything's done right now, at least all, the big major ones. Dirt guys are still running all over the place, but that's not as open to the whole entire world for them to be able to see it. So, the major stuff is all done. As you guys heard the headset move, Walter is here for those listening. And there's a lot of series to try to, give their due time. Yeah, they get, a few minutes. I think all of them more than earned it. Yeah. So, but we got to cover what? Everything
Few.
from AMSOIL, British touring car stuff, all the way down to NASCAR and F1. A whole lot of stuff here, there, and everywhere. So stick around, share this one out. Hopefully, everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully, no one
Yeah.
burned their house down while trying to fry a turkey. By the way, if it's frozen, don't do it. That causes calamity. But yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about here and off the season properly. Can't believe we've done 80. That's how long? 84 episodes. That's how long the year was, everyone racing. 84. That would be what, 42 weeks?
Yeah.
Because we do 2 a week. So that's a lot of damn weeks worth of stuff to be doing all of this fun stuff. So without further ado, let's get it going. No, start off on the quick one for NHRA. I'm just going to congratulate Brittany Force on getting her second Top Fuel championship. Can't believe it's only her second, but she now has the track record everywhere in Top Fuel dragsters. Literally everywhere is her. And it was, she wasn't the greatest, for the middle part there, but she finished it off with a bang and made up, the points that she had to. So congratulations to her. Her dad's still out there kicking ass at 800 years old. I think he's never going to
He,
retire.
yeah. He just, no.
I'll be, aged to I'll be financially, see chair. I'll be financially capable of retiring, and he'll still be racing because he just can't turn it off, which you have to respect. But congratulations to her. That was a good one. She earned it. Again, if you guys didn't watch it, there's a few races there where she looked sketchy, but pulled it out, got it when it mattered. And that's the important thing right there. And now, before we get down, through my stuff, I know he has, USAC, Silver Crown, all that stuff that no one ever gets to see. So he can give them the respect that they deserve, because those guys are out there busting their ass multiple times a week sometimes. So all over the place traveling. So they deserve, a lot of love. So the floor will be his for a few minutes before we get into everything that most people can at least, have an attempt to see.
All righty. So going at the beginning of my list here for AMA Supermoto, we had number one taking the series championship was Lucas Holbecker. Second was Dustin Hoffman. Third was Gage McAllister.
Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, it's not that Dustin Hoffman.
So we got a
good association though.
We got a good race car driver and a good actor. I'll take that. I mean, hell, if you're gonna share a name with someone, could be a lot worse. Could be way worse.
You could share. I will say, I love the GNCC racing. I think that this goes with this series and about 5 other series. What it was roughly when we were graduating high school time frame, that era in the early 90s will probably be the 2 highest eras I ever see come out of those particular sports. I'm not degrading anyone riding today. I'm just saying I don't feel like it is what it used to be. And granted, that goes with all racing, obviously, because things change over the years.
It goes with just about everything, and everything.
But the spirit model has changed to a degree.
Yeah. Well, that's because the business model changed. Yeah, I mean,
anyways,
once that changed, once the business model changed and all that, I mean, everything was kind of forced to change. Then by that, so it's
definitely.
I get what you're. Don't worry, we can watch that in any racing, any sport, really. things are yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's certain series, that are I feel are too new to really have that cultural
Yeah.
change yet. But
There's a bunch of
I
them that
mean,
are too
I mean, you
young,
got yeah. But
bad
anyway,
TV
sorry.
deals.
Carrying on. I don't want to take 19 years doing this. Hold everybody's life
Why
up.
not? We could be like last time. It could be like Wednesday.
Oh man.
53 minutes
No, let's
in.
not have that conversation.
53 minutes in. Gone. Like, that's cool.
Assholes.
You're telling
Thanks.
me.
Anyways, so GNCC racing for the Pro ATV class, you had Bryson Neal took first place with 325 points. He technically tied with Walker Fowler, but I can't remember the exact parameters around what was like the tiebreaker factor, but Bryson Neal took it. Walker Fowler took second at 325, and then third was Hunter Hart at 235 points. They all rode Yamahas. So kudos to Yamaha. I think you're the new Kawasaki for sure.
Good year for him.
It pretty much started after Lois Stewart went to race for them. Anyways, I feel like that's just my personal opinion. Don't get me wrong, they had other drivers. They had
You know you have a hard on for him. It's okay.
Reed.
Who dares? Carry
But
on.
anyways, college class ATV, James Glauda took first, Lane McCormick took second, and third was Keaton Henderson. All three again on Yamahas. And then the junior class, first place was Jeremy Ledon, Alex Elof, and third was Seth Wilson, all on Yamahas.
Where the hell is that name the whole time? Seth Wilson. I feel like Top Helmick now. The fuck ever happened to Smith? Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying,
It
like,
makes sense though. Like if you think about it. All right. Anyways,
it makes a lot of
moving on.
sense. That's why I love reading through these things because you're going, the does that even say?
Uh, so moving on to British Touring Car Championships, we had first place was Tom Ingram with 394 points. Second was Ashley Sutton with 382 points. Third was Jake Hill with 381 points. Fourth was Colin Turkington with 348 points. And fifth was Rory Butcher
Butcher. By the way, it's gonna throw up there
with
because
318 points.
out of all this stuff on here, and I rewrote it so it was better because, well, let's just say it didn't work out last night. If you guys don't get to, like, if you haven't seen it, I don't know how he has it, Apple TV, whatever he has. I know through Hulu, and we all know how I
Whatever
feel.
he
We all know
has.
how I feel. Well, I don't know, Apple TV, I think. I mean, direct,
Got
I
Apple
don't
TV. Oh man.
direct TV. I don't, yeah, my point exactly. But you go through Hulu if you have Hulu and live TV and you can record stuff. Go into, there's one for auto racing. Yeah, at the beginning when you're searching through sports, and then there's one with motorsports, and just go and click through them all because the British touring car stuff is in there under one of the categories, but it's really good racing. I
Most
mean,
of the time you can record the whole category and it
yeah,
just records
same. It
everything that
does, yeah,
falls into
same.
that.
It does everything. There's some dumb stuff, so but it really is good racing. I mean, every time they record it, you get to see the two races because they run two races every weekend, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, and they actually are really like cool. I mean, it's good racing. And again, they don't get money for winning or anything. I mean, that's like there's no purse after they're done. So it's real racing. That's just, but they're going after a damn
Yeah.
trophy because there's nothing else there except for their sponsors. But if you don't get a chance, watch it because it's good and it does record every single one of them. If you go into auto racing and motorsports, like he said, you won't miss it. And it's really good stuff. Just like the E-Pre,
Very rarely will you miss something if you do it that way.
just like the Extreme E electric series that runs all over God's creation. Watch out. Those guys got some, might be
They beat
electric.
bang and
Yeah. We might say some horrible things about them. Yeah. But those guys shake, rattle, and roll. And you got to make sure you pay attention to that. But I just wanted to, throw that out there because I didn't know if you had the E pre. So,
I got more.
I know you got a
So
list.
oh Anyway, so we go from there. I want to touch on this before I forget to do it because I will forget if I don't do it now. I know this is not auto racing. This is going to move into horse racing, but it's still racing. And I just have to give kudos out to Rich
That
Strike, and I can't remember his owner's name.
that
But not only do I want to give you kudos for winning the Derby,
the
but
fashion he did.
I also want to give him kudos for winning his case and proving himself innocent. Stick that one up your pipe and smoke it, you conspiracy theorist.
Hey, don't forget, most of the time we are considered.
I know.
I know,
Sorry.
but yeah, that was a hell
Oh,
of
I forgot their new name is liberals.
that has to go with that has to go without saying. Uh, that was a hell of a finish at the Derby. Like that was he went from like way back there to
Somebody hit the nitrous button on that dude.
it looked like senior coming like in the old Talladega races, like coming to the white flag. Where is he? 17th. And suddenly there we are going down the back stretch, going, the hell does he come from? When just bobbing and weaving through the whole damn road, going, okay, but you can't do that anymore at Talladega anymore because I don't know what, because they had to go and ruin that too. But everyone that's watched NASCAR back in the day has seen Dale Jr., Dale Senior or Junior really at one point in his
Yeah,
career
both of them.
at Talladega, like 2 to go, 17th. Suddenly we're going, okay, good, okay, what, do it, or
Didn't
Jeffrey,
Dale Jarrett
or
have some success down there in them
yeah,
tracks too?
and Jeffrey Earnhardt this year in the Xfinity Series when he got to drive that, like him bobbing and weaving through that field in the last lap that he came, he saw, and he was about that close to conquering. But that one has to go, without saying.
Talk
Let's
about underrated.
yeah. But carry on with we'll talk about that later. It's just while we're there, that was a hell. I'm sitting there watching the Derby going. It's kind of like
Yes.
Ross Chastain's movie going.
How did he make it around that? I
Yeah,
still look at that and go, how did that car not
yeah,
fall? Anyways,
we'll get to it, but yeah, that finish to the Derby, I didn't write that down, but yeah, Rich Strike, what that was probably the greatest horse racing of
oh,
like
for sure.
to do that in the last what half lap, like that's just from second to last to going by going. I mean, I would if I was a jockey. I'm too fat, but I'd go by the guy next to me with my middle finger extended in the air. It's just me. And remind a whip or
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
What? Just hold on and flip the guy off as they're going. Where'd that guy come from? But carry on. What I can tell you, there's a lot. It's been a long year. 42 weeks. That's a long time.
All right, moving on.
I almost forgot there were that many weeks in a damn year.
USAC. So starting with Silver Crown, I'm gonna only do top three because there's a few USAC series.
Just
Before I start though, I know he's in a different series, but I have to say, shout out to the old dude, Donnie Schatz. I know everybody hates that guy, but
He's still getting it done. And I don't care what anyone says, that's not how you pronounce his last name.
it's definitely
someone changed that in history because they didn't want to, that's not how you pronounce that last name. Schatz. I did enough. I speak English. What that's Schatz. But someone in history was smart enough to go, it's Schatz. Okay, what? You win.
Anyways, moving on. So first place went to Cody Swanson with 668 points, and I pretty much believe I recalled saying this about this series that at, like with two races left, he had it locked in pretty much.
Yeah, there's a few of them this year. But again, when you're that good, I mean,
yeah. But anyways, moving on. Second was Logan Seavey with 627. Third was CJ Leary. And a shout out to Justin Grant, who took fifth with 517 points.
Shout outs to the world. Wish I was like a magician. Fire would happen, but I'm not that cool.
And then anyways, yes. So Amsoil National Sprint. First place was Justin Grant with 2,536 points. Second place was your favorite, Brady Bacon, with 2,485 points.
Hey, I love bacon.
Third was CJ Leary with 2,452 points. And then this one I have to say, just for you, Ski. Fourth place was Robert Ballou with 2,369 points. Hey, I figured you'd want to know where he ended in that one.
Hey, Ballou.
Anyways.
Hey, boo-boo.
Uh, Last but not least, for the National Midgets through USAC, you had first place with Buddy Kofoid, 2,113 points. Second place was Justin Grant with 1,868 points. And third place was Thomas Mersal. All right, I butchered his name again. Mersal.
Hey, we didn't tell him.
1,659 points. I mean, you know what? If I ever meet him, I'm gonna tell him, dude, I butcher your name every time. You can tell me how to pronounce it now, and I'll butcher it again the next 100 times. Sorry.
Hey, it's like my last name. Don't worry. Everyone looks at it and goes, it's just one of those.
And this particular series, I wanted to give this shout out as an owner, Keith Kuntz. Good job.
And
Good
before we move on from all of that, another one of those, go onto your, sports, no matter who your subscriber is, and they might air them late. If you don't want to spend the money on Dirt Vision and Flow and all that, find them in there. They do
Mav
show.
TV. If you buy that
Yep.
specific, the
If
Mav
you
TV
got,
Plus, that's
actually,
cheaper.
there you go. If you get Pluto, get Pluto. If you have Pluto TV, Mav TV is on there,
Mav TV.
and they run stuff all the way across there, and it's free. So it shows
that's more of the home track type racing there,
and
more, for sure.
And there's a lot of and again, find it in your DVRs, because I did get to see, you didn't get to see them very often, but it was nice to see when they popped in, even if it was like a week or two after the fact. You still get to see it, and those guys put on some pretty goddamn good racing, as long as they can not wreck, because but super racing, and you can record it, and you can just set it and forget it, like the old Ronco commercials. Set it and forget it, and then it'll be there. And again, I always enjoyed going on there and seeing races at Peevely and Sharon Speedway, and I think all of them, Atomic Speedway. Like, there's a lot of good stuff that just pops up all around. So make sure to set those DVRs, especially now, because it's some of the very few things that are actually on right now. So racing wise. So when they show replays, I think they'll do a lot better, as they're not trying to make up for NASCAR and like all of the replays. So make sure you have that set, because I want everyone to be able to watch racing as much as humanly possible.
Most definitely.
Beats most other sports.
Where was I at here?
I'm here for you.
There we go. World of Outlaws.
The woo.
So for the World of Outlaws Sprint Series, we have first place went to Brad Sweet.
Of course.
He had a good 48-point cushion. Second place was David Gravel. Third place was Carson Macedo. Fourth place was Donnie Schatz. And fifth place was Sheldon Hudenschild.
And that goes to another set your DVRs, boys and girls.
Yes, definitely.
Your DVRs, because they do catch a lot of those. It's like I think CBS Sports Network.
And just so people say we didn't say it because he didn't do good, and we're only on the bandwagon of Kyle Larson when he's doing good, I'm going to say where he finished so people can kiss off on that one. Kyle Larson finished 26th place. So there, people that said we don't do anything when he does negative.
I mean, he has to do negative before he could do that. And granted, I mean, he didn't run all the race, a lot of the races. I mean, obviously he's going to be farther down, but even the races he ran, he didn't. The whole year, it just didn't.
There was a comment made off air to somebody that was made to me, and I was like, kiss my ass on this one.
It's just, he seemed down. Like he didn't go out there and just kill it. Like normally, like this year just seemed like an off year across the board for him. I don't know. Because normally, like, even the ones that I got to see him in the World of Outlaws, I'm going, where the fuck is he at? Oh, he's way back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird year for him. But again, you can also catch those. CBS Sports Network, they race them on Mav TV through Pluto. Lots of ways to find it. Make sure you set your DVR. I'm pretty positive that's the one on CBS Sports Network. So get through there, find it, enjoy it. You're welcome. And it sounds like my cat just headbutted a wall.
Case Late Model Series. Dennis Erb took championship.
Heyo.
Second place. Hold on before I go to second place. I want to tell you what the cushion was for Dennis Erb on this one. 186-point cushion. Good job, buddy. Good job.
Hey, there was a few of them this year where you're going, yeah, but great racing though. I mean,
Um,
it's not like he didn't earn it. We
yeah,
saw
I
those.
had to throw that out there.
We saw those races where he had to cut through the field because he started way back there, and then he won by a year and a half anyway.
And second place went to Tanner English, and I have to throw a special shout out because I know where this place is. He's from Benton, Kentucky, and it pleasures my heart to see somebody from that little town, make it like that. That makes me happy. He had a 230-point cushion over third place, which was Max Blair from Centerville, PA. And then fourth place is Ryan Gustin. He had a 486 points between him and Max Blair. And then fifth place, I'm pretty sure there's no relation here between the two, but it was Brent Larson from Lake Elmo, Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't think
that rounds out the top five. There was one thing I was gonna say. I don't care what anyone says. I'm pretty sure it was this series earlier this year, or it was. I'm pretty sure it was. Justin Marks did a race this year, one of these series. I'm pretty sure it was this one. He didn't do too bad, and I would like to see more Justin Marks in late models again. That would be cool. Just throwing that out there while I'm thinking of late models.
Hey, he did a bunch of racing this year. Actually, it was good to see him back behind the wheel.
Definitely.
In so many things, whether it was on dirt, sports cars. I mean, in the truck series, you name it. So it was good. It was refreshing to see that side of him again, because we've only seen the owner side of him for a little bit now. So it was good to see him actually get opportunities to run in decent equipment and go out there and dominate in some of them. Like he went straight.
Definitely.
So
definitely. Speaking of late models, let's segue into Lucas Oil's late model series. I'm going to tell you the top 10. It was Tim McCready taking first, Brandon Shepard in second, Ricky Thornton Jr. in third. I love how his picture on their website is still a baby picture of him. Anyways, fourth place was Hudson O'Neill. Fifth place was Earl Pearson Jr. Kudos, Earl. Sixth place was Tyler Erb. Seventh place was Garrett Alberson. Eighth place was Dalton Wilson. Ninth place was Spencer Hughes. And rounding out the top 10 was Ross Robinson. Rookie of the year went to Garrett Albertson. And overall fast time performance for the year award went to Brandon Shepard. Oh, just wanted to put those out there. It was a couple of awards that were listed I thought was notable.
Hey, you got to earn it in those things.
They did good. Good deals.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'll let you carry on now. You got the rest of my list.
Look at that. Well,
I lied. Nope, I lied. We got one more.
See, pants on fire.
Got one more.
iPad screen's on fire.
Never mind. Go ahead. It's going to malfunction now. Great. Way to go, NASCAR.
Well, it's only in Canada. It's okay. No offense to those people listening in Canada, but it's only the NASCAR Pinty series. NASCAR doesn't even care about.
Wait. It's working. Hold on. Is it going to keep working? No. Of course not. Why would you?
Give it in my hat.
Carry on.
Anyway, Amsoil off-road, championship off-road. I'm not going to go over all kinds of crazy stuff and just say congratulations to Kyle LeDuc, because their coverage absolutely sucks. So when you get to see them, it's good, but they show you highlights and then they'll show you the results of the highlights. You get to see like one race, and their website somehow is like normally a couple weeks behind somehow, which I don't understand. So overall, the racing is good. It's just everything else around it is absolutely abysmal, and it really, really sucks. So, I can't fix it. Can't fix stupid, and they are unequivocally stupid. But good on track stuff. Very short season, only 6-7 races through the season, but there's like a million different races every weekend. He knows it. Literally, there's like this many categories, just way too much to name, but good racing. Hopefully you get to see it. American Flat Track. There's something we can both say.
There's one side, and there's 3 more.
See? American Flat Track though, good season. Again, you can set your DVR for that, and they actually are really good to get it right to you. Even get to catch it live sometimes. Great racing, super appreciated. I loved it. I was happy to sit down. It was one of the few series I was happy to sit down and actually watch because they
One of the
didn't.
series you
Yeah,
absolutely need a kidney belt
yeah, like it was just good though. Like,
and a really good doctor.
they see what they can do. I mean, it's absolutely insane what they can do. And again, the coverage is really good with it, and it's good racing. So it's one of the very few that I very do highly recommend. And again, website good again, so I can be nice about that. But their coverage is fantastic, and you get to see the whole entire race. Like they go to commercial, and you're like, oh no, look what they didn't cut any minutes away. Unlike when they show a lot of racing series where we go from like an hour left to 40 minutes left, and suddenly there's 10 minutes left, and we're sitting there at the same cool. Like they just cut a year off of that. So yeah, good to see them actually get what they do, and they actually have a good TV contract and all of that, which is really good. So congratulations to them and Jared Mees on the championship and the Super Twins, Jesse Janis and the Production Twins, and Cody Kopp and the Parts Unlimited. There's a lot of good racing between all of them, but the way they ran, they deserved every single bit of it. And did you know, Walter, they got a new record in viewership this season, got over 3.4 million viewers this year for American Flat Track. So I'd
No
like to say
shit.
I played a part in that, but I didn't.
We may have, we don't know.
But I hope so. It's really good racing, but that's a big number for them. I mean, for as little as they are and how much people don't know about them. Yeah. It's not like they're out there with the biggest, it's not like NASCAR, football, or baseball. We just can't get away from the commercials. So for them to get over 3 million and set a new record is really kick ass. So very happy to see that. Well deserved, well earned. And I'm looking forward to next season. So those are really that's exciting stuff. And the fact I don't know how they even do that. My body would explode, but I'm also held together with a bunch of screws, bolts, chains, you name it. So other people's bones. It's been a rough life, but really good stuff. Moto America as well. Super bikes, they were great. Jake Gagne, congratulations on the championship. And we weren't surprised by it, but he went out there and just dominated the damn thing. Petrucci was good as well. I'll give him credit, but it was just between those two. No one else had a chance. And really, the big one
You
for this
know,
is Scott
you got to
Briotti.
give
Can't forget Scott Briotti.
you got to give all the guys though in this series and the American Flat Track series credit. I don't care what anyone says when it comes to all the bike series. These guys should be considered the Iron Man drivers.
Yeah.
Oh, great! Here we go.
See, we're back. Here we are again. Take it out now, Funk Show brother. I don't even have to see. It's just I tell you, it's just one of those damn weeks. There we go. What you don't have to look at my face anymore because I'm not fighting with it anymore. But can't forget Scott Briotti as well, who passed away after that qualifying wreck at Brainerd International Raceway at the age of 50. You don't like seeing anyone, wreck in any of those, especially those guys, because when they hit the ground, there's no real way that that's going to end super positive. You're telling me what? Just keep it going. What? Nothing wants to work for me today. But
carry on,
yes,
sir.
congratulations to them on super bikes. That was really, really, good. See how long that lasts. Then we get some stuff that we can really actually sink our teeth into. Supercross and motocross. I want to, congratulations to Jason Anderson getting his first motocross win ever, which just sounds really
Weird.
unfathomable for how long he's been doing the thing and how good he is that was his first ever win. I went, you're joking. Like, no, what? That's real. Okay. Didn't even think that was physically possible. And think of the run he could have had in the 450s if he didn't keep wrecking Malcolm.
Oh,
That cost him about 3 or 4 races in a row. So, but he was Mr. Consistent minus those races where he kept doing it. And well, when Malcolm got him back that one time, I don't even think Malcolm cared about the race, but he was just going to catch him and take him out. Bastard had it coming. He did. But really, I mean, there's a lot of good tracks coming up. That starts again in January. I shared all the track maps on the social, so I could do that again for everybody. They got some really good ones. But I mean, it really comes down to, Eli Tomac in the 450s because he was just see you later, bye, pretty much the whole year to everybody, not taking anything away from Sexton or anyone else that runs them. Anderson, Stewart, you name it. But man, him and Jet Lawrence over in the 250, like in the East, they were untouchable. And think Jet fell down and wrecked like 90% of the time and had to play catch up and he still went out there and won by a year and a half. So that's really the two big takeaways from all of that. No offense to everyone else that runs, but look who won majority of the races. It wasn't like Cup
Oh, I
Series.
gotta give shout outs to Jet too.
Yeah, and I said Jet deserves his because he literally. I mean, think if he could just not wreck. And he's this dangerous now, and he takes himself out. What the hell
Well,
do you
we've
think?
had this conversation. If he could stop Bubba stewarding this stuff, he'd be pretty
what,
damn good.
what do you think's going to happen when he's not wrecking all the time? So that was really good to see. Again, season starting soon. I can't wait to see what Ricky does for Daytona. I'm always excited about that. And Eli Tomac, congratulations on beating Ricky's record at Daytona for the wins and all that. As a hell of a record. Didn't think we were ever going to see it broke, but if anyone was going to do it, Eli's been on fire. And think he was switching manufacturers. And everyone was wondering if he still had it anymore. And then he went out and did that. It was a great change for him. So congratulations. And I'm looking forward to, seeing all of it again because it really was good. If you never saw it, I mean, you should go back and see it because those guys were just killing it. And again, starts in January. If you don't have to worry, if you don't see it, if you don't record it or watch it live, guess what, everyone? If you have Peacock, all the races are there. So you can go back and watch them on Monday or whenever the hell you have the time because all the action's good. And you can fast forward through all the commercials and all the interviews and vignette, like all that stuff, because there is a lot of it. And it's a
If you have
lot to watch.
Xfinity, you might already have Peacock. You might want to look into it.
See, there you go. I don't have Xfinity. I don't think it's available down here, actually. So there's a good tidbit because it really is good racing. I mean, can't deny it. So make sure you find it. Starting up soon. Really excited to see what, if Jet, what he's learned through the time off. How to
We'll
not just,
see.
well, hey, we'll see, but it doesn't matter because he just outran everybody. He really, I mean, he was just in a different world. No offense to his brother Hunter, but his brother's way better. Still love him. SRX, there's something that we could both talk about. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't get to watch like really any of it in the first year because all kinds of things going on and all that. But it was good to see. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know about you. I liked watching it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good product. I thought it was great when Tony got all up in Ernie France Jr.'s grill. And you know what? There's Tony. There's the
Well,
angry old man.
also the thing I like about the SRX series, and I know some people bring this up, but I don't think enough people bring it up. But to those that do say this, kudos to you, and to those that don't, well,
Shove off.
poo poo on you. Anyways,
You heard him. Poo poo.
in the XRX series, you see drivers that come from each individual track that is considered the hometown hero. And over the course of the SRX series, I have seen some of the greatest driving ever with some of the greatest drivers there is, to include Mario Andretti.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a certain hometown hero run him ragged and still win. I'm just saying, there's that series highlights. There's just something about that series, what it highlights. I like it. I just like what it brings to the picture.
I like it just because, again, the hometown thing, it puts that one where everyone goes, who the hell is that guy on a national level, because the series that they run around there never get any coverage near, even with Flow and all that. I still don't, I mean, it's impossible for them to cover all of it because there's so much. So the guy's little there. I like that Tony has the hometown hero. And again, if you're an old, I mean, you get to see Paul Tracy racing. You get to see him racing against Marco Andretti, racing against Tony Stewart. Newman's in there. The Blaneys. You get to go to Sharon Speedway, Peevely. Like you get to go all over the place, and I just think it's good.
I mean,
to
you've
see.
seen the Elliots in it. There's been some drivers in there that's like
you get to see.
Hey,
and you get to see it's the best of all worlds, and it gives so much exposure to those little tracks that some people probably didn't even know were there, that they could live in the area. And they go, where the hell? That could do a lot of good stuff like that on what the hell.
You were on the right page. It's the best of the best literally coming to that series and run through there.
Yeah, I mean, look, this year, big names. I'm not going to mention Tony, but we got to see Newman back on track. We all know we love some Newman, which I still can't believe people are saying that Chastain's move was disrespectful and all. Like, do you remember what to get a playoff spot? You remember Newman? What you need to get by him at Phoenix, or what? Don't worry, he got by him because he used him as his brakes and sent him into the goddamn wall.
Well, there's also something I think has to be pointed out.
And he got his spot. So, I mean, but
there's Newman. 2 people involved with SRX that are 100% no longer involved in NASCAR. Are 100% involved in SRX.
Tony and Ray.
No, Ray Abraham and Kenny Schrader.
Oh yeah.
I've even heard Tony say, if not for Kenny,
Oh yeah, he sets up. He was the mechanic.
there would be no SRX.
It literally showed him at the beginning of like the first race. Like, there's Tony. What he set? There's Kenny. Why he sets up all the cars for us? He does it all. Everyone's set up the same way. What? Ready, steady, and go. But we got to see Newman this year. Bill Elliott and Chase raced against him. In that one race, we had the Battle of the Elliots on there. Michael Waltrip, Paul Tracy, Biffle, Bobby Labonte, Ken Zith, both Ryan and Dave Blaney at Sharon racing against each other. Ken Schrader.
Yeah.
Like Helio Castro Neves, he got a win in there. Is really, I just thoroughly enjoy it just because it gets the best. There's so many, young versus old.
Well, it
versus
feels like Helio
cars,
likes to get under the skin of Paul Tracy.
Well, everyone gets under Paul Tracy's skin. I mean, yeah.
Those two seem to find each other a lot.
And, that's the best thing about it, though. You get to see them on track. It's only, it's a quick, it's Saturday night stuff. And normally, if you're at the track, I mean, they have other series that run when SRX is done at the track. The normal guys go through there. And I just like the exposure. Granted, putting the 2 dirt races at the end when we know Tony's going to go out there and smoke everybody so he gets the championship. You might be doing someone dirty there, Tony. And it doesn't matter what happens, but he's going to win. But really good. I like it. Really small track to a medium-sized track. Then they go to the 2 dirt races. Like, they give you everything you want to see.
Well, before I forget to say it, I know if I don't say it, he's probably I'm gonna feel like I'm wrong in the back of my head for the next 6 months. You can't forget that Brian's daughter got to run in this series too.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't run as good this year as she did, the year before. Again, I think everyone was more up on the track and the car and, more used to it, but she did do good. I mean,
the wheel handling that those cars take, I think, is something that she's not
and she had
accustomed to.
And she had mechanical issues, I mean, this year too. So, and by the way, guys, if if you're going to run 900 laps trying to get her car to cool back down, how about we don't count that towards race time? If you're going to just circle slow and she's not going to go down anything, like,
we don't need no NASCAR caution lap counting crap here.
We don't need any of that. But it was a very successful season. I look forward to see what they're going to do. Next season, who else comes in, because they keep getting more people to show up every year. I mean, look, what was it, Helio? They found him a car, like, suddenly he was in the race the morning of that one. Okay, what? Thankfully, they had one backup car laying around for him.
And my other thing of it is when it started, Jimmy Johnson was racing full time. Why not see in the future Jimmy Johnson running this series? Or,
well, I wouldn't doubt it now that he's done with IndyCar officially, which is the next thing we're going to talk about, actually.
Definitely could see a Kurt Busch there now.
Oh, yeah, I definitely see Kurt doing it. I mean, what else? I'm going to get there. I don't want to hurt my soul, but
we ain't got. I don't care. Tony's got to put some of that stupid stuff out the window, because he can't deny it. Kurt made him money, and I'm not talking about a little bit. I'm sure of it. I feel confident in saying it was not just a little bit either.
I'm very confident in seeing. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I don't think anyone can deny that. That man made.
So it would be stupid not to bring him into that series too.
Yep.
Even if it's just for one race.
Yeah, it'll happen. I'll but guarantee. He's going to do that.
Even if it comes from Kenny Schrader and Ray Abraham, it needs to happen. Yeah. And I know, Kenny, there's no problem saying, "Look, Tony,
fuck off.
It's got to go this way."
Yep.
It does not change.
And Tony would be like the kid in that yearbook picture. I still love that kid. But IndyCar series, it was a good year. It sucked to see Jimmy, go backwards. I think he regressed. His oval stuff. I mean, he did good at Texas. He was making moves. Iowa in the second race, he looked way better than the first, but he had a whole race Saturday, and then, well, of course, he did better on Sunday. The Indy 500 was disappointing for me. Colton Herta, again, was Colton Herta, and was his own worst enemy a few times. He got screwed over by strategy and stuff, but that all happens. But really, it was just between Joseph Newgarden and Will Power for the championship. I mean, it was just them. They dominated it.
Yeah, but Will Power is kind of I don't want to say it like this because it sounds arrogant, but kind of a shoe-in most of the time, at least for a contention.
Yeah. And it just came down to those two. It was nice to see it come down. in the last race of the season, and we were still, wondering who was going to walk out as champion because there's still that many people close. And congratulations again to Penske because, I mean, 2 championships in 2 different series in 1 year is, shows you what kind of organization they are
That's
across
something
the
to
board.
stand for.
Yeah. That, no matter how much crap I might talk about certain individuals, I mean,
No, you know what? Let's just say it like the way it is. That is something worth gloating over. Gloat away.
To have that many,
even if they've never won anything before, to have 2 in 1 year, just period. That's a level that you have ability to gloat, and I think you should do it.
I think you should 100% do it.
Careful on the drivers that do it for him, but the owner most definitely.
They have to have the equipment.
Roger should most definitely be gloating the shit out of 2 championships in the same season from 2 different series. Yeah, I feel he should.
I think he should. He earned it. I mean, how many times do you get to see people do that? So good on him. Congratulations, Tim. Proud of him.
And if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Joey even pointed that out too. So that's
he did. Of course, Joey had that down. Yeah. Of course, what first?
No, I'm saying him in regards to.
I'm saying Joey.
Roger
first thing
Penske.
Out of his mouth. That's 2 in 1 year. Like, woo! Like that's what you have that up. Second you got out the car. I mean, that was kind of impressive. We'll get to some NASCAR stuff, but
that shows he's mature. To me, that I only brought it up because it showed he's mature.
Oh, without a doubt. I don't want to punch him in the throat as much anymore. Granted, it took people wanting to punch him in the throat, but at least he's not as big of a dick anymore. And again, IndyCar,
plus his
NASCAR,
level of dick got surpassed by some other people.
And he owns, and look at all the work he's done to Indy since he bought it. I mean, he's doing a good job. So, congratulations to you. It's way better than that shit track you built out in Fontana, California. Hopefully they've blown. I mean, I know they're working on it. Blow it up faster. That's all I'm going to say about that. Make it go away faster because that place sucked. F1, F2, F3, Formula E, and the W Series. I'm going to say if you haven't watched Formula E, find it. Just
it's worth it.
Just don't have the volume way up because it will hurt your goddamn head. But really good racing there. I appreciate it. W Series, I loved it. They only aired 2 or 3 of the races, and one of them was Silverstone weekend, and they covered everybody was there. If 1, 2, 3, they actually did that justice. 1, 2, 3, and the W Series all got. I think Formula 3 was the only one that didn't air, so that was really cool to see. But to see the women out there getting their whole thing, I don't know why they're making a whole nother series for all women like FIA. We already have one, but that's not me saying. I think that's just saying we already fucking have one. But good to see that W Series was good. Put on some good racing. Formula.
And it's not like the women can't make it in the F1 series because it's happened.
Formula E, great racing. I enjoyed seeing that minus the sound. There's a lot of cool tracks and they did all kinds of weird stuff. And I'm going, huh. So if you don't get to watch it, set your DVRs.
Still trying to wrap my head around the remote monitoring of not necessarily not the remote monitoring, the remote ability for the officials and the teams to be like, okay, now we have power boost. Go. I'm still trying to wrap my head around all that. Other than that, it was great.
To hit those marks, to go out of the line, hit those Hey, however they do it.
But it's not like gas. You can't misjudge it and then, oh, hey, we lucked out. No, there's none of that. You misjudge it on that, it's over.
That's very technical, good stuff. So again, set your DVRs, watch it. That one they do air every single race, so it's actually easier.
And I want to give a shout out since we're on these series because it's kind of along the lines with the Trans Am series. It was nice to see the Elliots, Kurt Busch, and a couple other younger drivers this year run from NASCAR in those series. It was definitely some good racing. I'm sure they probably took
they need better coverage,
a lot away from it that they didn't have when they came there.
They need better TV as well.
Trans Am series get screwed, all of them.
A lot of people.
I'm just gonna say that openly.
A lot of people
I'm like Kevin Harvick in this one. You guys are wrong.
There you go.
That's all I'm gonna say. And quote Kevin, you guys are wrong.
And then we can get to F1, which again, it was Max's season. He set the new record. Granted, they ran more races than Michael and them ever did, but even with those taken away, I mean, it was his year. At one point, he had won all but 2 races, and that was because he didn't finish in those 2. And that's when he was
cushion point at that point. I remember I was talking about that on the show. His cushion was at one point just stupid.
Yeah, don't worry, it ended even stupider, but that's a real word now, people. Hey, I'm in a Thanksgiving coma. Okay, it's early. stupider. But that was just out of bounds, crazy. And it was good to see Mercedes, get the win the second to last race with George, even if it wasn't Lewis, you know. So his streak is broken. At least they look good by the end of the year, because at the beginning it didn't look like they were going to have a snowflake's chance in hell at doing anything. So good on them. The Ferraris still look good. They just had more strategy and really mechanical issues than the Red Bulls. So obviously that was going to, be a thing. But
Red Bull is just having a good year. There's
yeah, and Max was just light years ahead of his own teammate, which everyone could say whatever they want. There's no way in hell he was running that much faster than someone that's supposed to be in the same car. That's nah. But it's a hell of a year. And then look at going out of this. I mean, look at all the
speaking of that
Jesus
same
Christ.
car thing. That needs to happen more often because it doesn't work just in one series. It works in a lot of series. We've seen it this year. Look at Blaney and Logano.
Hey,
it happens, and I've seen it in other series too.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But yeah, there was a giant thing just between him and everything. But yeah, good to see Kevin Magnussen got re-signed to Haas. He came back and finally got the points. And I don't know what happened to Mick, because he got those points in back-to-back races, and suddenly he just died the last the last couple races. I mean, he might as well have not started. And I love him to death. We all respect his father. I mean, he didn't really drive in his time there to deserve to get, extended. Sadly, I like him. I think he's a great kid. I think he has a lot of potential and talent. He didn't do anything to deserve a new ride. So we'll see what, Hulkenberg can do now that he's back there. Daniel Ricciardo's, not driving full time anymore. He's going to be the third guy for Red Bull, so we're not going to see him on track. Sebastian Vettel retired. Like, there's a lot of big moves that happen, over there.
There's a lot of shift in a lot of big series this year.
Yeah, a lot of them, in F1. So excited to see what they bring next year. It's going to be a while. I mean, they're off for forever. And my closing remarks on that for the year is good racing. How Max won at Japan, 27-second lead in 28 laps. Like, that's just astronomically unheard of, but I'm excited for it. A lot of good stuff, but for the love of God, why do we have to start the Las Vegas Grand Prix in the middle of the night, US time? Like, tell those cocksuckers to wake up early for a change. Why the hell should I have to stay up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning?
That's an honest question, because half of the series that race in the world are in Europe, and we always are the ones that have to adjust our schedule for racing series on TV. So for once, why don't you start a NASCAR or not a NASCAR, any national stinking race here? Why don't you start it in our time zone? Yeah. Okay, if you want to start it on Pacific time zones, fine. I'll stay up an extra 3 hours. That's fine. But when you ask me to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning,
because I believe
to watch something, that's unfair.
Because I believe it starts at 11. Yeah, it's astronomical. It's unheard of. So please fix that. But otherwise, some good stuff. I like to come into America more. At least there's racing building fan base that big in America to keep giving us more races. Miami this year, Vegas next year. That's a good sign for them. More racing, I think, is better. And I like F1. We just have to do better than the start times and all that, because that's just dog shit. Maybe I just don't like waking up that early in the morning. I don't know anyone that likes to wake up that early in the morning, but gets us to the ARCA series again. Good deals. I like, and again, the female presence, Tony Breidinger, Amber Balkan. I mean, they were consistent, and again, like, they're doing it right by staying down there and building talent. They're not just throwing them through the system as fast as they can, which has killed several females career. I mean, look at Danica. Like, hey, what, you're going here now? Like, we don't care if you haven't figured it out yet. What, you're going? And I like seeing them down there. The plate racing was actually better. I thought this time around the plate racing, they were actually close to each other. But really, the big takeaway from that is they need a better TV deal. Airing it a week later, just especially.
So I'm not sure what the name of these people are, but whoever is in charge of picking the time slots and the actual, like, the cover. How do I want? What's the words? We talked about this before.
Yeah,
the time slots, but not just that part.
Here's a good one. I'll break it down into layman's terms. If you want to actually build the sport, here's a great fucking idea. How about you don't air the ARCA race the following Friday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on USA Network? Who
Well,
the
not just that. I'm talking about
what
why
the
would we
fuck
start
good is that good?
races
Oh well, I was going to get
knowing
to
there's
that
no
too.
way we can finish
Yeah,
them? I'm talking about
yeah,
ARCA in
yeah.
general,
I
though.
know.
Like there was races that were started
Yeah,
before you could finish
like
them. Like
they need a better contract so people could, again, airing it at 1, 2 o'clock on the USA Network on a Thursday or Friday. No one's watching it. They need to schedule the damn things better because we had
I believe
races
the one was a Fox deal, so you
like
can't tell me they didn't know about the weather.
at
They had their own
Pocono.
freaking weather
Like
situation.
at Pocono, they started the race at like fucking 6 o'clock, 6:30. I'm like, so if there's one, but it's a minute to get around there. But you literally did not give them a snowflake's chance in anything
Oh,
to
you
even
didn't
come
even give them enough
close.
time to per mile
Yeah,
finish the race.
especially as they have the 5-10 minute breaks in between there, so they could do it. Like there's no
Take all the breaks
snowflakes.
out, no
Yeah,
stops. There was not enough
there's
time in hell to
there's a
stop that.
snowflake's chance in hell in that, and then again races like Talladega that they're, hey, what, it's over in like 2 minutes, 2 laps. Why we're cutting it way short? Why? Because we scheduled it, yeah, and then one big wreck stops the whole entire thing, and
Was
the
it
truck,
Pocono or was it Talladega where they cut it short like 14 or 13 laps?
both.
It was both, wasn't it?
Pocono went dark, so they had to, because I don't know who, again, starting the race at 6:30 in the Pocono Mountains when it takes a minute to get around for a 90-lap race. Like that was genius. But Talladega was one they ended because I think it was a truck race, had to start on time, and then we still got our full hour plus pre-race show for the whoever it was. Like, so why couldn't they finish the 10? They like they
They
deserve better
shortened the ARCA race so the truck and the Xfinity series could get their times.
and start on time. Like, well, if you finish the last 13 laps, what they still could, we still could have had the whole entire same priest thing. Cut 13 minutes of bullshit interviews out of the question. What could have went?
No, that was the night it went from ARCA straight to Xfinity because
Yeah.
the trucks ran the next day with the Cup Series.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Well,
and
whoever it was,
I specifically remember
they still got their
them
damn time.
cutting it short so they could have the whole entire hour pre-show or pre-race deal on the pit road. I'm sorry, they don't need an hour to get their cars and their toolboxes out there and do the national anthem.
It's already
Get
out there.
out of here with that.
Like we
And
literally,
you don't even do the national anthem in that hour no more.
we do the whole entire like wham bam thank you man. Everyone's toolboxes were already sitting behind the like 9 ARCA boxes that were in their spots. Like it was unnecessary. It was ridiculous. And if they want to actually grow the sport, like they say, how about you fucking put your money where your mouth is and let them have full races and actual quality TV contracts, not 2 o'clock on a Friday on the USA Network. Because I bet you there's so many people that are home to watch a race at 2 o'clock on a Friday on the USA Network.
To the people that's listening and watching this, you can obviously, like we've talked about, you can access live ARCA racing via Flow Racing, but not everybody has that. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I don't feel like there's any excuse for any NASCAR national series, whether it's in this country or not, for us to not be able to watch it on TV. Maybe not necessarily
on a channel that everyone has, by the way. That would be really nice.
Yeah. I mean, they can do it to where you can watch all of them on the same weekend. I'm sorry. You may have to watch the ARCA race from Friday night on Saturday morning, but you can do all the races from that weekend on that weekend. Dedicate a channel, get your shit together, NASCAR, and figure it out. You don't even need
to do that. They were like all of them run bullshit in the middle of the night. What? Put that on early in the morning. So, like you can sit, but again,
well, yeah, I'm sure me and Brent would much rather wake up and watch that in the morning and at 7 o'clock when we don't have nothing else to watch than watch the news every single time. I mean, don't get me wrong, we watch the news, but
and it doesn't have any excuse because Fox does the ARCA coverage. Well, normally, and it's really cute. Hold on, who does the truck series all the time? Oh wait, Fox, which means they have the cameras there. They just choose to air it later so we can watch.
Well, and not just that,
is stupid shit that no one cares. Let's watch the 1987 college football championship
NASCAR
game.
has their own TV crew at every single NASCAR race, whether it be a Cup race, Xfinity race, truck race, ARCA race, Pinty's, Mexico, Europe.
Brazil.
What other series do they have? I'm
Brazil starting here. Brazil starting.
Yeah, Brazil. I mean, every series they have TV crews there, NASCAR themselves. So why can't it all be recorded and broadcasted?
Hey, I'm right there with you. I've been saying it all year. I've been saying it since you left. This is dog shit. Hopefully more people will say it, but it's dog shit. Then, we can get into the trucks, which I thought had a really good year. John Hunter wasn't as dominant, but he qualified really good. But it was just a weird season for that. It was great racing though. I enjoy the truck racing more than some cup races because everyone's just out there trying to kill each other. Overly aggressive. Shout
Wheeling,
out.
that's the other series.
Oh, easy killer. They did share some. They did put some of them on USA at the end of the year, so I will give them credit for that. I think there was like 2 of them that they aired. Woohoo! But they're at the proper racetracks to So thank you for picking those 2 races to be the 2 to air. But yeah, good stuff there. Glad to see Indianapolis Raceway Park. Pack. I just sound like I was from Boston. No offense to people in Boston. But back on the schedule, that was good. My big takeaway, that was good to see Zane Smith finally get the championship after finishing second 2 straight years. Really good kid. I still can't believe he finished second 2 years in a row and couldn't get a ride after last year. No one would return his phone calls except for, front row. That's really, really 2 runner up in the championship.
Right.
You had a hard time getting a ride. Please, let's talk about that business model thing. Matty D got his first career win.
Yep. Kudos to Matty D.
As ridiculous as that finish was, here's a good one, NASCAR. When it's at Talladega and they're wrecking 100 yards, 200 yards away from the finish line, how about you don't throw the flag and you let them finish?
Yeah, because all that did was create a confusion
All it
between
was and you got
everybody.
You got him and the little guy that no one heard of making the local dude that was there sitting next to each other at the end of pit road going, waiting for NASCAR to go, hey, you won. Everyone's I see it at some tracks, but in the tri-oval, this far away from the finish line, Talladega. Fun fact: and you say you're doing it to get safety crews out there faster. Having everyone slow down and let off because of that, or letting them drive through and get to the line at full speed, I'm pretty sure it actually gets them there faster when they're not yellow, 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 and everyone has to slow down. Especially at Talladega, it's not like they're coming back around. They're already, but pit road's way the hell back there. Entry. They're not coming near any of those people. Let them finish the damn race in the last 12 feet because all that does is cause so much stupid. And I went off the rails about it weeks ago. That was stupid. Let's not do that. It's fucking dumb. Good luck to Tricom, whatever they are. With Toyota, I don't think they're going to be anywhere near what they lost with KBM. But guess what, Toyota?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard because what are they going to do?
Haley Deegan went backwards.
What they lost with KBM, this outfit's not going to pick up.
Yeah, they won't be able to do it. Just
I'm sorry, there's no way around that.
It's just a rage. Like there's just, I don't think they're going to be as good.
And this goes back to the statement that was made months ago by Kevin Harvick. Joe Gibbs just isn't losing a driver. Joe Gibbs is losing their driver development program, their driver program development, like the structure that builds that. They're losing that ability. They're losing the ability to have equipment in lower series at no cost to them via Toyota because of KBM. Toyota screamed since the last 3 months about, hey, we don't want to lose Kyle Busch, period. In all aspects, we don't want to lose Kyle Busch. Secondly, the one dude from the racing director, I think he was, he said, I don't want to race a pissed off Kyle Busch, period. Period. I don't want to race a pissed off Kyle Busch.
End of discussion.
Okay,
right
if that guy's saying that, and Kevin Harvick's telling you you're losing probably your best asset you have right now at Toyota,
hey, it's a Gibbs problem.
You're stupid.
It's a Gibbs
problem.
That
all boils back. And I told you from the beginning, I said, I have a gut feeling, and I hope it's wrong, but something tells me Gibbs is running some interference. And sure as shit.
I said I had and all I told you was is that I wouldn't put it past them to do it, but that would be so dumb on their end, to be that spiteful. But then again, we'll get to the Cup Series. We can get to the end of that era. I just think that it killed.
Well, I was referring to the KBM thing because that's part of Kyle Busch. Like he is a entity, not just him.
I know. Don't worry.
And it bothers me because it is no different than losing
they want
Kyle Busch or Kevin Harvick or Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson. Some guys have more than just
if they want to fuck themselves, let them. We're getting to them. Hell, we got one more series to talk to before we unload and how stupid all of that shit was. But they asked for it. Hey, asking you shall receive. Let's see how good that one works out for you. And by the way, Haley Deegan, you don't deserve an Xfinity ride. One good race does not equal that. But where the hell else is she gonna go now? But
I do think some of it was of no control to her or Brian. I really do think that
she had a lot of shit luck this year. So I mean, it wasn't that. I mean, it wasn't like she.
No, I'm saying her moving up, I
Yeah.
don't think was decision making on her and
Well,
Brian's
yeah,
part per se.
it's one of those. But we still haven't heard anything. So, which is amazing that we're this many weeks out and we're still going. Hey guys, what? It's almost
Well, I think they're
December.
waiting to see what Stuart Haas is probably going to. I truthfully think, my personal opinion, I think Stuart Haas is getting ready to do some serious changing in more ways than one. We've had our personal conversations about this. I
Yeah,
hope
but
a couple of things we've talked about in our personal
no,
conversations come true from what I know.
but
But
I mean, we'll get to Cup, but where's she gonna go? I mean, now if they got two cars in Xfinity, I mean, maybe they could start a truck team. That would, again, wait. There's a
well,
lot
they
of things
fielded
we
trucks
talked about. Yeah,
before. They fielded a truck for a whole year
yeah,
for Cole Custer. Let's be open
yeah,
about it.
yeah. But look who
So
Cole
it's
Custer
not that they
was.
can't. I know, but it's not that they can't do it. I mean, is what I'm getting at. They have the ability, they have the equipment, they have the skill.
Just figuring it
It's
all
just a
out.
matter of somebody pulling a trigger or not. And just from other things being said by Tony individually, and then other things being said by Gene Haas individually, I think, and I'm saying it about this because this covers all the series. I think Haas is wanting SHR to go a way different route in NASCAR. And Tony on certain things is like, oh, everybody's complaining. Well, you know what, Tony? Yes, you're a hard ass old dude, and you're kind of like skiing myself. But you you don't want your it's almost from the outside looking, and it's like you don't want your team to succeed. I feel like you do. You don't want anything you ever do to fail. You're that kind of person. Sorry, just look at everything else you've ever done. So with that being said, it's like, what is really going on here? Are you stepping out? You staying in? Are you gonna change this? Are you gonna change that? Because there is drivers right now that are still up in the air that we don't know about in all these series, and I'm especially the trucks and the Xfinity series. It's like, wait a minute, all this changing. Who's going here? Where's? And we've talked about it with the trucks for KBM. There's two drivers that didn't get to go because of Toyota. Where are those two guys going?
A lot of hey,
But you see what I'm saying? Like there's
yeah.
so much is changing, and he's just one example. Kyle Busch is, or Stuart Haas Racing, because they got decisions they have to make because they have now with the whole announcement of Ryan Preece stuff. It's almost like a wait a minute, you're putting yourself in a more drivers than vehicle situation. You're starting to sound like a Toyota scenario.
I don't know.
Sorry, I don't know. Maybe I'm just sour about that because that's something that organization's always been against.
I don't know. You've been on this. I mean, you're something. We're going on like 5 minutes. You being pissed off
Sorry.
about just that.
Well, it's sour. It's stupid.
Breathe.
It's both of them guys. You can't have teams built with four trucks. Well, the team's forced to leave one company, go to another. You're only releasing two of the drivers to go. Well, where are the other two drivers going to go? Because all the other trucks for that manufacturer is filled in that series. So please tell me, where are they going? You gonna move them to the Xfinity series? Okay, well then let's have that conversation. Where are they going there?
No, they got themselves in a whole sport.
All because of one organization and a poor choice.
The whole entire sport, really. But that's on my list of things. If you could finally shut the fuck up so we can move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Soapbox. It's okay. What?
Well, it covered this because it was the whole lower series getting screwed over.
Hey, Toyota wants to bury themselves in the sport. Let them.
Can't even say that. It's not even them.
Hey, but they made that move, and look at all
they were tied with JGR.
Yeah, I'm saying, look at Toyota made one move with Gibbs made that one move, and look how much that's shifted the whole sport. It's okay. I can say this calmly because I'm not a psychopath. Oh, see, it's because you're all hyped up on your all that damn sugar in your system. That's the fucking problem. Is coffee black? You're less wound then. Gets us to Xfinity. I mean, all I could say about that is it sucked to see three junior motorsport guys getting the championship four, and Ty still win the championship, but the racing was good, and that's the important thing.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
Jeffrey Earnhardt. I must be from Boston today, or I'm having a stroke. I'm not sure which. Jeffrey Earnhardt, though, Dega, that was good. That was good to see. Too bad it didn't happen more. Colleague slipped backwards a little bit, I feel, with but they seemed like they figured it out at the ovals towards the end of the season better than they were at the beginning. But the big thing from that is just when people,
big
Everyone
thing for
thinks
them specifically, they just need to keep plucking away at what they're doing because what they're doing is right. It's working.
it's getting there.
Don't change it for Kaulig just because you brought them up.
It's going in the right direction, and just don't screw it up. Keep going with what you're going. It's working. But my big thing to talk about that is everyone rags on me for talking shit about Ty Gibbs all the time and his stupid. And what about Noah? Here you go. Here. What Noah? Go find the show after Road America. We were cussing him out for a very long time about taking out half the field in frustration like a jackass. You know what the difference is between those two? Between him and Ty? He didn't do it again. He drove like a human being the rest of the season after that.
Well,
he
I
didn't
think
turn around and do it every 3 weeks. We're looking at him going, what a dick. What a dick. What a dick. Hey,
yeah,
you're a
and
dick.
what he did to his teammate Brandon Jones,
look,
second to the last race of the season, I've heard numerous drivers of all age levels, and I mean that, youngest to oldest of all age levels, say you just concreted your stupidity in your career. We know who you are now. Good job.
Like John Hunt, like when he did, what was it? John Hunter, like Richmond, drivers don't forget. Why? He might not have wrecked him, but God damn it, what he hit him hard enough. He was trying to get him out of the way. Why? Because he just this, my friends. Hopefully this gets
I've said this for
hopefully
years.
It gets to Ty Gibbs. You silver spooned bitch. Every time you earn a little bit of respect, there's the problem. You go and shoot it. You go and Brandon Jones it, and everyone fucking hates you again. Or how about throwing fists at a man while wearing your helmet?
Well, Kyle, I want to say it from my point of view. Kyle Petty quoted this a couple weeks back.
Agreeing with Kyle Petty. I never thought.
I know this is sad. He even quoted that it's one thing to bump somebody to move or position in racing, and the greatest person ever to do it, let's be open, is Dale Sr. You want somebody to bump and move you and not completely wreck you, Dale was the guy to do that.
And everyone bitched at me on the social medias after, like, what about Dale Sr.? Like, Dale Sr., he moved people. Very rarely did he just straight up wreck you.
Not saying there wasn't one. And when he did do those, I think there's only one that I can remember from my whole life where he legit was like, and that was because of Jeff Gordon being Jeff Gordon. Other than him.
So you got Jeff, you got Rusty in the 87, 8, whatever it was, Daytona 500, where exact quote was, well, I either had to lift or wreck him. I wasn't lifting.
But I mean, outside of two incidents,
and Terry Labonte at the end of Bristol, well, that was just what caught you.
That's all that was. There's two out of thousands of times he probably did that.
There's like 3 times, and those were over like a decades-long career. It wasn't in one season.
Multiple decades.
Yeah.
That dumb shit. The whole point of it is there's a difference between bumping somebody and moving them, and then when you intentionally wreck somebody. And then for you to know that you're already locked into the championship come in and then not only take your teammate out of contention for the championship and that's another car for your owner out of the championship. You took him out of the race completely. Like it was over. You completely wrecked his car. Grow up.
And kudos to Brandon Jones for being that,
not beating the shit out
for being that respectful after that, because I would have punched him.
I would have hit him.
He would have been sitting there celebrating. Suddenly, would have just saw him get yoked off the back of the stick. I would wait till they were all like taking a picture and happy, and just dive over and kick his grandfather clock over.
I'd like to see him do that in the Cup Series. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, his career won't last. I mean, but again,
because he's going to do it to the wrong older driver who's raced with certain people and be like, oh, okay.
He drives for Gibbs, though. I mean, so he's going to be an asshole. But there you go, people. That was our big problem. I figured, never mind everything in the Xfinity Series. There was good racing across the board, but a lot of different winners. But guess what? Oh, and moving the race from Road America to Chicago Streets, by the way, NASCAR, that's fucked. But yeah, that's why we still rag on Ty and not Noah. Even though the point, I mean, he didn't get fined anywhere near what he should have, because his fine didn't come anywhere close to just what one team had to pay to fix their damn cars that he wrecked. But he got something for it, and he drove like a human being the rest of the year. Like you said, Junior told us.
I have to say this because
last race of the senior, Junior told him. He said what Junior said: if we're going to win it right. And he could have went into turn 2 and bulldozed the out of that little prick, but he didn't. Which shows where Noah has grown up, kind of. still has his moments, but Ty is still a silver
Oh, he
spoon
still throw
punk.
down.
I'm pretty sure
He'll throw down.
he has no problem with any of that. I think there's something slightly off about him, but God bless him. But that was my closing on it. That's what my problem is with Ty. Why he never learns. He doesn't care, and he's going to
Well, I
do it
gotta
in the
say
Cup
this
Series, and he's going to get freight trained.
because we've talked a lot of negative about Ty.
He's talented. He's just an asshole.
Now I want to move that aside for a moment and say, because this is the end of the year review for NASCAR too. Sorry about your dad. That's a shitty scenario.
Yeah.
Nobody that races wants to lose their dad that was involved with racing.
And
ask anyone who has.
P.S. to everyone on social media. I'm sure none of you are here that comment that nasty shit, but saying that he deserves it because the way he drives people, no one deserves that. Like you think it was karma catching up with that his dad died. Like he deserved to because he drives like an asshole. What?
No, he needs some karma, but that's not the karma that he should get. I know there's people that say, "Oh,
saying that he
deserves it,"
saying that he earned it, deserved it. No, you're a fucking piece of shit.
He's gonna get the Denny treatment for the next 20 years.
Well, let's leave that at well. But finally, Cup Series.
No championship.
Yeah, never ever. Because he's an asshole. You don't find that many ways to not win. Like you're just Ross Chastain proved that. Well, that's how he didn't get to race for it. Or I'm watching it going, everyone slow down. Like, oh, what? No, what? He just punched it into fifth, kept his foot to the floor, and let go of the steering wheel. Shit whipped himself. He's a shake weight. His brain was, at least. But Cup Series, new car, has its moments. We'll get to the Clash at the Coliseum was better than I thought it was going to be. So kudos to them. I still don't know how they have the money to waste to completely make a racetrack in there every year, but the hell do I know? I think there's better places they could spend money because I'm pretty sure
doing it in LA. I loved everything about it. There's one negative I had to say. I loved Ice Cube there, but I feel like he was short a few compadres. He's from LA, and there's a group of gentlemen from the same age group that's from that same area that probably should have been there. But I'm just throwing it out there. Get the political shenanigans away out of it. If you're going to have Ice Cube, you need to have the rest of that group.
No one can. He was perfect for it. But again, that could just be his thing. I don't know. But it was good.
Well, he does. He loves racing. He does love racing.
It was better than I thought it was going to be. Way better than I thought it was going to be. The new Atlanta sucks. Please don't do that to Texas. We don't need another super speedway.
You're about to lose drivers. You keep doing stuff like that.
Just ask Kevin Harvick when he'll tell you exactly how he feels about restrictor plate racing. It's normally not very nice. Normally, he's scared.
That's one way to word that.
Bristol Dirt was better. Bristol Dirt was a lot better this year than the first time. Still some improvements, but it was better.
I have to say,
it was better this time around.
And in Kevin's defense, I don't think his reaction to that track would have been as bad as it was had the issues with broadcasting not happen a few weeks prior to that and him being in the booth for it to happen and have to watch it happen and then go race and have to deal with that track. Don't think that helped any of that situation any. I just wanted to put that out there.
Nope. But again, he just doesn't. Anyway.
There's a lot of things that's going on that guys like him and those guys from those eras are starting to really go, look, I understand this, and this, but this does nothing for us. Right. And he's also the car. Now go ahead.
Sure. Well, you're on a roll.
I think you said you were going to talk about the car, right?
Yeah, we were going to get there.
Go.
But I was going to cover Kurt Busch having to retire. Damn shame. Don't worry, everyone. There'll be an unnumbered episode next week for Kurt because he earned it. Car, concussions, taking a whipping, but everyone's saying that's all because the new car, like it had never happened before. Junior, I swear he had to retire because he kept shit whipping his brain. And he was at least man enough to admit it and step away and said he got a bunch of concussions and he kept racing, which is what made that last one so bad. It happened in other cars. So let's stop.
Well, Kevin said it.
Let's stop putting that all on the car. Like it was like it's happened for years. Just we weren't as big.
It's been 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Kevin said that these cars, when you hit the wall, he says, it looks like you literally almost parked in front of the wall. But inside of the car, he says, it feels like you just got thrown in the car.
needs to have they need to figure out the rear part of
If
that
Kevin's
car.
telling you the car's hitting too hard and he can't handle it, and he's a guy that, well, let's just be honest, he's drove some cars that didn't handle bumps and hits well. I feel like there's something to say about that. And any of the other guys older like that, Martin Truex, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, those guys have all raced those older cars. What's the excuse here? Dale Jr. has raced them. Kurt Busch has raced them. All them guys have been involved in them old cars. And you can go further into that too. The crew chiefs. You got crew chiefs that have been in the game for quite some time, my friend, right now as crew chiefs. Rodney Childers is no spring chicken. What's the dude that used to do it for Kyle Busch? I always forget his name. He's now Chase Elliott's crew chief.
Gustafson.
He's been around a little while. These guys all know. Timmy Feedawall has been around a long time. He's seen the cars that didn't hold up and you did get hurt in. So for them guys to come out and say it now, like, hey, what's going on? And then I also, and speaking of the cars, I don't know this year for some reason, maybe it's just me overthinking it. I could be wrong.
What else is new?
But I feel like there has been a lot more incidents related to pit crew members on pit road. I don't know if that's related to a car design and a blind spot or what, but it's got to change. It's got to change. That has to change, period.
And I mean,
I brought that up because I don't know if that is related to the cars or not. Like you were saying with the hitting part, I don't know what that is, but it's got to change.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean. That could be part of it. And again, they were in such a rhythm for all those years with the 5 lug switching it to 1, like the rhythm of like, yeah, I'm sure that played a part in it. But like, there's a bunch that hopefully they're fixing, you know, especially with the aero packages and all of that stuff. I hope they do because it obviously needs some work. But also, the damaged vehicle thing needs to fuck off. Like, you get 10 minutes. What, they change it to 8? What, you get 8 minutes? What, if they can replace the mechanical parts and there's not going to be metal flying everywhere, they should be able to go into the garage and not be done immediately because they need to put a toe link back on something. And they need more than 7 seconds to do it. If it's not going to cause, like you did that, so pieces of metal weren't flying everywhere. Guess what? If it's all toe links and stuff like that, let them change it. Why? Because there's not going to be debris everywhere. Because
there's a couple teams that did get a setup. I'm trying to remember who it was. Might have been Trackhouse guys that was doing it. They were changing those upper A arms and lower A arms and those toe links right there on pit road. They got it.
They have no choice.
They had those little things they made. They set up like.
I know, but they have no choice because they have to do it on pit road because they're not allowed to go to
NASCAR stupidity. Period. Just say I'll say it.
Because if you go to the garage, you're done, which is just like if it's because they said they did it so there wasn't sheet metal and all kinds of stuff flying all over the track. But if it's mechanical parts, not like we're talking, they blew an engine or a transmission. If it's something like that, let them change it. Why, they're going to be a million laps down, but they're not going to be blowing parts all over God's creation. So that's
because if you make them do 1 lap minimum speed to be able to continue working on their car before they can go into the garage, then you're taking a chance of shit hitting the track, my friend.
Yeah, it's car blowing up or something. Yeah, so that sucks. The fires. I hope
tire comes off. It can go a lot worse than what it just did if they went to the garage.
And I still think that because they didn't get the lug all the way attached, that they should lose. That they should lose their living for 4 weeks over that. When we see people literally wreck people and put them, we'll get to them.
You know what?
We'll get to them. You got 1, you get 4 because you didn't get your tire all the way. Calm down, Jesus Christ! See, everyone that's listening and watching, what I tell him to do YouTube shorts all the time. All he has to do is send them to me, and then he won't be sitting here ready to ramble about things for 30 minutes at a time because he can get it off his damn chest. Do that, you'll feel better. You'll have more woo-saw. I know you love a good woo-saw, but I think that they need to figure out the car fires too, and just rubber buildup. I mean, dude pulled like that much of a chunk. Like that was the big ones, just fires everywhere. That kind of sucked. And also the tire issues. Yeah,
that begs the question though, because you brought that up, the fire issue. Do they not do a solid firewall no more? Because I'm starting to think they don't do a solid firewall no more.
Well, I think they have to. It's just now
because if that was building up where it's building up and then catching fire with a full firewall, if I'm understanding correctly, it shouldn't be able to access that point. Unless I'm misunderstanding, but from what I understood, where it was building up on top of the pipe and then catching fire, it shouldn't be hitting.
Yeah, well, Apparently, you're misunderstanding.
Unless they
Something.
changed something under the car that I
Duh, they
didn't know
changed.
about.
They changed everything, man. I
Well,
mean,
obviously, it changed
they're
everything. We talked about that.
pulling softball-sized chunks of rubber off of those things. What they're going to light on fire, and there's nothing you
Out
can
of
do to
places they
stop it.
shouldn't be coming from.
Yeah, no, but God, I just have to keep going, or he's going to drag this thing out for like 4 hours. And the hits and the concussions. Here's a good one, guys. I'm going to quote whoever's crew chief it was. Don't even remember at this point anymore. But here's a good one. We don't set up our cars to have to worry about flat tires. Here's a good one. Sidewall, way smaller, low profile. So you went from this much sidewall to this much sidewall. So please stop running the pressures way lower than Goodyear tells you to, and way more camber than they say you should, because that makes the tire blow out even faster because there's only that much sidewall now. How about you listen to them? Why? A lot of people would have taken a lot less hits if people listened to fucking Goodyear, because there's only that much sidewall. So you could run it way lower when you had that much sidewall. When you got this much sidewall, what, a couple pounds, you're pretty much
There's no
running.
flex in a shorter. The shorter it gets, the less flex there is.
So that's causing all these catastrophic problems in tires and hits. So for all you people out there freaking out on the internet and on the social media, what if they listened to Goodyear, they wouldn't have had nearly as many problems. Goodyear can make a thicker sidewall, and they'll still run it. And they'll go, cool, what, we can run it even lower now. Listen to them. Look how many people
NASCAR should just make it thicker and not say a word.
Look how many
so they
people
think they're running the same tire.
Look how many fucking people said, don't got to worry about it. Why? Oh, William Byron's crew chief. What? You know what? We didn't set up our car to have to worry about flat tires. Well, what? See what? He said the quiet part out loud. What? We didn't set ourselves up to die. We're good. What? Yeah. So fix that shit. You know, it's not a tire problem. It's not a car problem.
It was Rudy.
It is people doing whatever the hell they want and not listening to the manufacturer. And again, that much sidewall plus minus like an extra 15 pounds of PSI than you're supposed to have equals it's just on the ground. What? And that's going to cause it to blow out faster.
Well, I mean, it went from
from like a fucking 6-inch sidewall or something to like a 2-inch.
It's either 6 to 2 or 7 to 3. It was short.
6 to 2.
It went to a low pro. It's a legit low profile tire.
I think it went,
and that's what people don't understand the concept of with low profile tires. And that's not just in NASCAR. That's in everyday cars too. People don't understand it. Nobody talks about it. Nobody thinks about it.
Yep. Hey,
They'll sit there and blame Firestone all day, every day, but yet Ford never got one hit from that. Never thought I'd hear me complain about Ford. Ford never got one negative hit on that.
All I'm going to say is teams play a very large portion in that. So please, people, can we just all use some common sense when they build the tires? They tell people what they should run the settings.
If they say 17 and a half, 17 and a half's it.
You shouldn't run
it.
You
know what they're saying.
10. They run it at 7 or 10 because you get more, but you get more something out of it. But then you have a chance of going $180 into a wall real fast.
I think it was Phoenix. It was one of the tracks they ran twice. They ran Phoenix twice this year. So it was the first race at Phoenix. They said something about it being 17 and a half pounds recommended from Goodyear, but people were running it down around 14 and 15. I'm sorry. The moment they went below 17 and a half pounds, NASCAR should have went, you intentionally decided to run lower than that. That penalty is going to cost you, but they don't. If they did that 1 or 2 times, people running way below what Goodyear's saying would stop.
Yeah, they would fix it. But when does NASCAR care about things that could actually be,
good for the sport?
Easy resolutions, and stop, blowing people's brains away. But
and honestly, you might see better racing.
Yeah. I mean, half the field wouldn't be wrecking out, tires blowing out. So I mean,
you wouldn't see guys that should be at the front somehow sitting back in 34th place. You look back there, you see Kevin Harvick or Chase Elliott, and you're like, what?
But TV
at a track they shouldn't be back there in. Sorry.
TV coverage needs to be better. Obviously, let's just leave it at that. No point in getting into headaches. You guys absolutely fucking suck. And I still, to this day, do not believe that NBC
look
Sports...
Look at them 2 trucks driving. Too bad we're not talking about that wreck down here.
Still, to this day, have not mentioned Jessica Friesen flipping on the dirt.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
Like NBC Sports showed us it when they weren't even covering the race, and no one on Fox even mentioned it yet to this day that I've seen. Oh, look, she's up on the berm. Never mind. How'd she get up there? Well, thank you, NBC, for showing us. That was
And there's Kevin.
abysmal. That was dog shit. Daytona rain thing. You guys have enough what? Oh, they said it was raining. You could have people far enough away that you know what, it's downpouring, it's coming, and throw the caution so we don't have that happen. And people saying it, Jeff Burton, I still remember, well, it's completely dry until we're like, what you saw him going down the front stretch, what drop, 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 camera, drop, 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 flood. Like you saw the drops on the front stretch, but nothing happened until there. What the hell do you call those, dickhead? I know he keeps looking up at the people. They're probably going, what are you doing, Walter? Well, if Walter just shut up, you wouldn't have to keep people going. Yes, he's still going. Look, he is on his soapbox today, everyone. But yeah, that was dog shit. There's no excuse for that. Wreck out half the field. Like you have spotters everywhere in the surrounding. You have enough property everywhere that you could have someone just out there going, "Yep, what now?" Well, so then everyone could be slowed down before they're going 180 miles an hour onto a sheet of ice.
And this does to a degree fall on NASCAR, because NASCAR could go yellow. Everybody needs to come in and put their water tires on.
Hey, they're practice. Apparently, next they're working on possibly getting us a rain tire package for short tracks next year.
All I'm saying is if you're out there and you see cars spinning, and it don't just happen one or two times, on a road course, maybe you should think about, hold up, pull everybody in, just put your water tires on, and let's start.
But they don't have water tires anywhere but road courses.
They didn't even do it at the road course right away. Remember this year?
You don't know, but they gave them the option. I'm just saying they don't even have
wet tires. There should be no option. Yeah, NASCAR knows when it's beyond option.
They don't even have rain tires for ovals right now. So they're that far behind. Like, we're trying to figure this out now. Like, it's Goodyear. They can make you a tire.
Well, I can tell you right now,
low profile tire, I don't know how the hell they'd find a way to actually put treads on that to run in water, but
Goodyear and Pirelli do have high speed, low profile tires that you could use on a circle track. And I wouldn't even be surprised if American Racer has a tire.
Man, they're never going to leave Goodyear. Never. That's why they'll never fix it.
I'm not saying leave. I mean, it's not like those two can't.
NASCAR doesn't care. They don't care. They've proven that.
I'm helping them the solution.
A fig is everyone, but again, everyone blaming Goodyear for all the problems. But
they can't.
It's not Goodyear's fault. Goodyear can only do so much, because no matter what they do, everyone's going to push well beyond what they say. They're going to fuck it up anyway. People just
I can say it wholeheartedly. They can't blame them. Yeah, I've seen the testing happen out here.
They're going to say, they can run like, inside of a pound of what Goodyear recommends. I'm okay with that. They're a little over, a little higher, give them some leeway. But once they're down 3-4 pounds under, sorry, and that's where NASCAR needs to step in. It's like, well, you don't want to wreck. We're worried about all these hard hits. How about we stop blowing out tires by not listening to them? Because that causes all these hard hits.
Half a pound or a pound is one thing.
3 or 4.
But when you take 3 or 4 pounds out, now you're going from just a hair softer sidewall to a flex in your sidewall, because it is low profile. There's less rubber to flex. The whole idea of it is stupid. Like, they don't understand it, and it bothers me, because you got a lot of money wrapped up in NASCAR, and if an auto technician that just works in a random city can sit back and go, wait a minute, you do realize you really should probably not go under that, right?
They did it themselves. They don't care. Brings us on to the Kyle Busch saga, which, again, we all thought it was going to happen, but all I'm going to say is to everyone that said that Kyle gave up, on this, what? Blown motor at Darlington while leading. Blown motor at Bristol while leading, and no one else had a single problem.
And he still came back and won a race.
Saying though,
not that race, but I'm saying he came back and won one.
Yeah, he got one, but I'm saying in the playoffs when he wasn't winning anything, after he made the announcement, 2 blown engines in 3 races, while he had all of his other teammates like racing to get in and winning to get in and having all this speed. Like, Kyle has 2 blown motors, especially at Bristol. You can't blame that on Kyle. One thing that he knows how to do.
The good people and the bad people are, and I hate to say it, but that shows how much better Richard Childress is than Joe Gibbs, because he even kept giving Reddick equipment to win in.
He let Reddick, hell, he let Reddick pull himself when he had those concussion symptoms, like in the middle of the race. They're like, what? Come in, what? Not worth it.
That's what I'm saying. I never thought I'd say that, but they're literally showing how much better he is than them, and I hate that shit.
But again, it's just Gibbs. I mean, no, look at all the people that go out and they give them dog shit on their way out the door. Like they just can't help themselves. They can't. I mean, it's not a coincidence. It's some
Well, I have to say this, and this is
Brandon
something that
Brandon Jones.
this is something that Joe Gibbs themselves need to pause this offseason and think about, and that's flat out this. They have a lot of drivers that leave their organization, and when they leave, they're sour and they have no intentions of ever having anything to do with Joe Gibbs Racing or Toyota, even sometimes for that matter, ever again. Because their contracts sour the skill.
I think they're I'm just gonna close my thought on it on right now. They're running Toyota out of the sport.
Oh, I don't disagree. I'm not saying I was one that was pro Toyota to begin with when they first started. I was pro Mikey Waltrip. Don't get me wrong on that. Love me some Mikey, but I don't necessarily want to see Toyota leave all because of one organization is idiot, or I don't want to see an organization leave all because one ownership is stupid.
I mean, Mikey, he had to close up, money wise and all that, but I mean,
he did better than he may not have had as much results as Joe Gibbs, but I feel like he was a better.
Look at the 95. Look at the 95 car that had Gibbs equipment gone. Furniture Rose, like, yeah, well, done. Because it cost so much. And like he wanted, I mean, granted, Barney was 8,000 years old, but just had the cancer scare and all that. But look at all the teams that are no longer here that had Gibbs equipment that they said this is just too expensive.
The only one that ain't folded yet is 23XL.
Well, they're a Gibbs team. Sorry, people.
I'm just openly saying it. They're the only ones that haven't folded yet, and that's just because, well, I mean, I'd be safe in saying Michael Jordan probably could contend money to money with JGR.
I'm pretty sure he has way more money than.
That's what I'm saying. So when it comes to money, Michael Jordan has that to back it up. So whether or not they would fold, I don't know, but JGR is hurting Toyota horribly.
And look at how the Kyle thing unfolded. Well, you mean to tell me you guys couldn't get him anything, but Childress got him multiple. What? That said it all.
Well, and that's kind of the gist. When
they ask Kyle, what do you think it's going to take for this to end? What for your luck turn on 2023? Like, so that's your way of nicely saying they're fucking with you. It's going to make what 2023?
In my mind,
that's all. That's all I'm going to say. What? Just get me to next year. That's how this will stop. What? Kyle knew it. He knew he was getting fucked on the way out. Everyone
when that director from Toyota said what he said about a pissed off Kyle Busch, that kind of set it in stones and told me in my own mind, like, okay, I know where the problems are failing now.
Yeah, and then again, we'll move on. Bubba, you deserve more than that. If pit crew guy gets a 4-race suspension for not getting a lug all the way tight, then you turning someone that would have been head on if it wasn't for Christopher Bell being there.
I kind of wish that would have been any other driver than Kyle Larson, though. I really do.
Well, Kyle just sat there and took it.
I mean, the reason I say that is because any other driver would have been like, you know what, I'm done with this shit. They would either one hit him back or two have been like, huh, what about this dude? Everybody says, oh, we're supposedly so racist because there was a noose in his garage door.
Well, that's not even.
This guy's coming out here beating the living shit out of somebody because he knows he can get away with it. Yeah. It's been said by multiple people in NASCAR. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's been said by them.
Mr. Controversy over here. I'm just going to say that, what was it, last year at Martinsville or Bristol there at the end? Martinsville. When I say last year, I mean 2021. When Brad came up behind Kyle and ran him into the wall at the end of, I want to say it was Martinsville. And Kyle said it was a retarded move. He had to go to sensitivity training for properly using the word retarded by def. He didn't call someone retarded. He said the move was retarded. Guess what? It was. He had to do sensitivity training. Bubba lost one spot in the points by 1 point. No fine, no points.
Only punishment he got was from his owner.
No anger management courses. Like, we've seen people do a lot less and get fined and have to do all kinds of courses a lot more.
Look what Kurt went through just for saying he wanted to hit somebody.
But he was already in enough trouble right there. I mean, exactly. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about getting suspended? Well, but probably makes me want to punch you in the face. I probably shouldn't say that, but what you're suspended again. Just don't come back. Kurt was his own worst enemy, so glad he turned into this. But yeah, that was it. And to everyone that complains,
I just want to say the Bubba Wallace thing. No, it's a simple statement. What happened with Bubba Wallace and what punishment he got flat out boils down to a stain on NASCAR.
No, I wouldn't say kill the guy, but I mean, Everyone got worse. Noah deserved to be parked. He did. What he did took out half the field. Noah deserved to be parked too.
I'm just saying,
They're
there's a
letting
lot
people
of guys that get a lot
but
worse for a
but he
lot
got
less.
but he got points and owner points and a fine, and yeah, he had all kinds of stuff for that move. Unlike Bubba, who literally just sit home for a week, buddy. What? We're okay. That was dog shit. But and again, before he keeps going, I'll try to cut him off. Everyone complaining about the new point system. It should be based on all this. One, Chase would have won by the Winston Cup point system just by starting the last race. So everyone would have been pissed because there's more Chase Elliott haters than, yeah, a lot more Bubba haters. I mean, when he came back from his suspension, the whole world let you know that, but there was not. Gordon didn't even get booed that loud. But
that's my point.
If you look at the top fours, everyone barks about it. For average finish, who had the top 4 best average finishes for the whole year? Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, the other 2 guys that he raced against in the championship as well. The championship 4 had the top 4 best average finishes in the whole sport for the whole season. So the top 4 guys from the year did run for the championship. You know who was tied for 4th? Blaney in 5th. And he was the first guy that
pretty much. People are saying the point system is what?
Yeah, people are complaining. The new point, like, it should be based that you win and do everything. It's like, yeah, but wins help you. But if it came down to it, look at the guys that won and advanced through all of them. It's no surprise that the 4 of those guys with the 4 best that won races were then racing for the championship, and Blaney was tied for 5th, but he didn't win anything, so he didn't get to go. So you can complain all you want. The guys that consistently ran good all year ran for the championship to include.
Well, I mean, if you want to go back like that, then Kevin's missing like 3 or 4 championships.
Well,
if you really want to be open, somebody wants to complain about that.
People bark, but for everyone barking, we might not all be a fan of everything they do, but the top 4 best average finishes ran for the championship. So wins keeps you going, fair. But literally go down at 1, 2, 3, 4.
Because like I said,
Blaney was tied for 4th, but Blaney didn't win anything.
Yeah, people. I don't agree with necessarily everything about stage racing, but like, I'm not saying it necessarily did anything worse for the sport as far as that goes.
In the playoffs, I mean, it's
because if not, Kevin Harvick would probably have 5 or 6 championships. Jimmy Johnson would have just kept Jimmy Johnson. I mean, like, there is a degree of why they did it. I understand, because there is guys that probably would have just destroyed everybody else. I get that.
I just don't.
Kevin, in 2020, if that was the case, this is where I'll say it's fair. In 2020, had the old rules applied, Kevin could have not started the last 4 races of the season and still won the championship.
Yeah. But everyone complains.
So that's why I'm like, to a degree, I see where they brought it into play.
The playoffs and all that. I mean, like, guess what? I know you have to win at all costs, but it came down to it this year. If you look at what consistency, the most consistent guys always still seem to find a way to make it. Because we've seen people win 7, 8, 9 races and then still not get a championship.
Well, 2020, Kevin won 9 races and an all-star race. No. So technically he won 10 races if you really want to be honest about it. And he still didn't win it. Here we go with this again.
Yeah, well, he just won't shut the hell up. But I finally got it working, and there you were. I just saw it tweak out. So what, let it keep going. But yeah, so everyone complained. Guess what? I went to the Coke 600 one year. Martin led 588 of the 600 miles, and it wasn't a race. Thank for stages to throw a caution, so at least everyone went like this for a second. So, like, what? There's a chance.
That's why I said that.
There's a chance. Oh, wait. No, he's gone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. He said he chucked the deuces on the field, so I appreciate it just for that. I do like the move that they're allegedly looking into taking the stage cautions away from road courses, because I think they need to do that, because it was either stay out for stage points or go in right before they close them. So that way everyone that stayed out for points is now behind you, and they just kept flip-flopping. That took a lot of the strategy out, because that was the only strategy. Go for stage points, go for the win. There was no in between. So if they do that, that was good. But move by Chastain, still the greatest thing ever. Stop complaining. Then it was classless. What? Who the hell have you ever seen put it into 5th gear, floored, and let go of the wheel at Martinsville? And everyone that says it could work anywhere else, where?
Chastain and Denny Hamlin need to just take a serious reflection period this offseason.
They say, like where else? They could work at Loudon. How? Loudon's twice the size. It's not working that way. But and the sport needs to just do better because I think they're
I feel like if you'd done that at a short track, you might have got your ass beat if you're being open about
yeah.
it.
But Chastain NASCAR needs to just. I'm going to move on to try to close this out because someone's angry.
Yep.
It's start. But no, status of the sport, they just need to do better across the board for a lot of series, bunch of the rules. They need to put their foot down on some things. Hopefully they get some balls. They grow a pair and actually do things. I don't think they ever would. And to close out Walter's thought, if it wasn't Kyle Larson that was getting shoved around, if 2020 never happened to Kyle Larson, pretty sure he would have swung back. He literally knows no matter what, he was in a lose-lose. He hit him, he's logged, but he was screwed by that. But again, it was a good season, lots of good racing. Congratulations to Penske. Never thought I'd say that, but and shout out to the Gibbs family again for everything. There's still sucks.
Yeah, and all the people that say that Todd Gay deserves that, just shut your freaking mouth.
No one deserves that. The Derby was great. Good job, Rich Strike. Justin Marks, keep on racing. Like seeing you and everything. It's a good change. We need more of that. And I'm still gonna do like weekly stuff, so make sure you check that out. Kurt Busch is first on the list because I think he deserves it after everything. Walter.
All I'm gonna say is Justin Marks just has to keep Thunder running all these automotive sports. It's awesome. I love it. Just keep doing it.
But so make sure you still do audio stuff. If you're listening to this, there's not going to be it's a season end. It's a season break until racing. All of it starts again. So we'll still do some audio stuff, but a lot of it's going to be on YouTube. So make sure you follow on there because everything goes there regardless if it's a minute, 3 minutes, an hour and 41 minutes,
whatever.
Who's counting, but all of that greatly appreciated. Again, follow on Twitter, and because I share stuff, Facebook. I'd say follow Walter, but he's paranoid and doesn't have anything. And it's not paranoia when everyone's looking at you when you're looking up Clinton properties and nuclear silos, but there's a reason. It's not paranoia. That's you gave him a damn good reason to look at you. Just saying.
Hey, I was always taught, make sure your brain stays a sponge. I'm just consistently learning. The more you know, the smarter you are.
Yeah, but buddy, I don't need wake up to news that you stabbed yourself in the back with a knife and somehow drug it all the way up to your neck and killed yourself, or you hung yourself by an extension cord from a tree and shot yourself in the chest with a shotgun simultaneously, and then there was no blood found anywhere. Like, I don't shooting yourself in the back of the head twice. Like, we don't need any of that.
Or like stuff. the one guy that stabbed himself 45 times in the back of the head. That's lovely. Yeah,
we don't need you getting Clinton. Was it crazy? But again, follow the YouTube channel. Make sure you're always and share this thing out for me. Follow Twitter at Racing Rosinski. And until we meet again, my friends, peace.
Peace.